This is meteorologist Mark Molnar. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Northeastern, and also we're going to start off with Hurricane Northeastern. Let's get right into the particulars with the tropics. Tropics continuing to remain very quiet here. Here are the satellite photo here as of Thursday evening. Take a look at this. We're not looking too bad here across the central and eastern Gulf of Mexico, even off the east coast here. Nothing of concern. We do have the intertropical convergence zone out here across the eastern and central Atlantic. We have tropical waves that are continuing to steer into the northern coast of South America here, but for the most part, these have been remaining pretty far south. As of late, however, we do have a tropical wave that's going to head a little bit further north into the Caribbean, and this one we'll want to watch a little bit, although conditions are not very favorable at this time for development. But the interesting thing is with this tropical wave, it will be a little bit further to the north than the other ones. Let me show you the surface map here of the tropics. We're looking at a high pressure system here continuing to anchor across the central Atlantic. That keeps the flow out of the east here along with the trade winds, and we continue to have that intertropical convergence zone spin these tropical waves across the northern section of South America here. Now this one is going to pinwheel a little bit further to the north here, as you can see it, and it'll steer into the Caribbean Sea towards just south of Jamaica by days 4 and 5 here. So pretty interesting that we're starting to get a little bit of shift here in the intertropical convergence zone, but we'll watch this system. But at this time, I don't expect any development out of this system. That does it for the Hurricane Northeastern. Let's get into Weather Northeastern here. We're going into the central portion of our immediate forecast area. Take a look at this. Joe Drehos from the Johnson City, New York area. Take a look at this big billowing cumulonimbus cloud here across the area near the Johnson City traffic circle. This is what we've had as of late. This was taken yesterday, back on Wednesday here. This is associated with all of these heavy rainers that have developed across the area. All of these torrential downpours, they don't necessarily have lightning or thunder out of them or any hail or wind damage, just a lot of heavy rain that dumps out of these systems. And he captured one of these that was moving across the area. We've had quite a bit in the way of flash flooding across New York and parts of Pennsylvania. Thank you, Joe, for sending that photo in. We're going to get right into the forecast. We're starting off with precipitation amounts. If you notice, both coastlines starting to quiet down a little bit. Across the east coast, the northeast mid-Atlantic, we'll still have some residual showers, and most of this will be associated with the Monday system that I'll show you bears watching. We could have some severe thunderstorms as well as a return to flash flooding after a very nice weekend. Now, central portion of the United States. This is where the trough really gets digging. We get a chances of severe weather and continued aggravation of flash flood and flood areas of the central states here, the mid-Mississippi River Valley. So we'll continue to watch for that. Up to 2 to 4 inches of additional rainfall is expected, especially over the weekend here. Now, if we get right into the severe weather outlook before we do, there's that pattern. We kind of kick this zonal pattern here across the country until we get to the central states. Then we dig this trough out for the weekend. Ridge, high pressure building in to the eastern states here, all the way up the Appalachians into the northeast. That'll keep conditions very nice. And finally dry out for the weekend across the mid-Atlantic, the northeast, and New England. Here is that severe weather outlook. I'm taking a look at Monday. This is pretty far out for a severe weather outlook, but it bears watching because in meteorology we have a phrase, we never trust a warm front. And at this time, Monday, there will be a warm front traversing across the region, and it will have a lot of dynamics to work with. So we could be looking at strong to severe thunderstorms, particularly from Harrisburg, Williamsport, up to Elmira, Rochester, Buffalo, Jamestown, Bradford, Warren, Erie, Pittsburgh, State College. All of these areas bear watching. I've put you in a slight risk of some severe thunderstorms across the region and also some flash flooding threats here. Anywhere from, say, Erie all the way over to Binghamton here, Scranton south to Harrisburg, and all the way westward across the state of Pennsylvania. We will be looking at the possibility of some flash flooding out of these thunderstorms that develop and train over the same areas. So let's get right into the particulars. Here's what I'm looking at. We're looking at the main threat being a hail threat and a flash flooding threat. And then, of course, damaging wind, third on the scale. Not really looking at much, if any, tornadoes. Let's get right into the forecast, starting off with your Friday TGIF. Take a look at this across the Northeast. We're finally going to scour out this cloud deck that we've been stuck with here across the Northeast, along with all the heavy rain and thunderstorms that have developed. We're pushing that front to the southeast here. Lower humidity's building in here. Most areas west of Interstate 81 will be clear by 11 a.m. and then east of Interstate 81 will be clear probably after 2 or 3 p.m. Temperatures will warm it up into the 70s. Most areas west of Interstate 81. East of Interstate 81, clouds hang on a little bit tougher. Some areas may not get out of the upper 60s. But for the most part, we'll end with a very nice day across the region. Turning a little windy in some areas too, up to 20 to 30 miles per hour winds, maybe up to 40 mile per hour near the Finger Lakes and Lake Ontario and Lake Erie region. And then heading on to your Saturday, look at this, not too bad. We're going to really get out a very good day here as high pressure really kicks in just south of the region. We start to get on the return south flow in some areas. And look at this, temperatures heading up towards the low to mid 70s, a very popular number across the Northeast here. Pretty much wall-to-wall sunshine from Erie all the way over to our easternmost city, Boston. Look at that. Not too bad. And then head on to your Sunday. We'll do it all over again here. Mostly sunny skies from the western portion of Erie all the way over towards Boston. Look at this. Pretty much every city here, crystal clear blue skies. And temperatures will start to bump up a bit here. We'll start to get near 80 in many regions and probably lower to mid 80s here in the southern Susquehanna River Valley, coastal plain, and over towards Pittsburgh into your Monday. This is the day to watch right here. That warm front's pushing in from the southwest here. And this will spark showers and thunderstorms. Some of them could be severe, and the big threat here is flash flooding over saturated grounds. Now, you will have some time over the weekend to dry out here across the Northeast, particularly from the Susquehanna River Valley over towards central Pennsylvania and western and northern New York here. But this week, we've had quite a bit in the way of rain, so we're going to have to watch these saturated areas that have had lots and lots of flash flooding over the past several weeks here. As we add insult to injury here across the Northeast, probably looking at widespread 1 to 2 inch rainfall totals here with locally higher amounts towards 3 inches possible in those areas where thunderstorms train over the same area as the steering currents become weaker towards afternoon here. And temperatures soar. Look at this. Many areas getting into the mid to upper 80s, something we haven't seen in quite some time here across the Northeast. So the humidity will be on. We're getting into a more tropical air mass here on Monday, starting to feel a bit more like summer. Unfortunately, we continue with the rain here. Now we're going to take a look at my 5-day outlook for my immediate forecast area from Binghamton to Scranton, Towanda, Oswego, Endicott, Johnson City, all points in between, Tunkhannock, Medhopin, all of these areas along the upper Susquehanna River Valley. Take a look at this into your Friday. There's that clearing. Temperatures up near the 70-degree mark. Look at those overnight lows. Good sleeping weather up towards the upper 40s near 50. And look at that. Saturday, Sunday, crystal clear blue skies both days. Low 70s into the upper 70s near 80 into your Monday. Unfortunately, strong to severe thunderstorms, flash flooding possible, damaging wind, large hail. We're heading up towards the mid-80s and into your Tuesday. Unfortunately, we continue getting socked in with this weather pattern of showers and thunderstorms likely. Thanks for joining me for this edition of Weather Northeastern. Don't forget to like me on Facebook at MeteoMark, subscribe to me on YouTube at MeteoMark.com, it's Twitter at WX Northeastern, and don't forget to visit my website, MeteoMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com, and like me at Hurricane Northeastern on Facebook. That'll do for this edition of Weather Northeastern. Thanks for joining me.